101. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Jackson Williams. In the NFL, Colts head coach Shane Steichen said in his press conference today that quarterback Anthony Richardson has a shoulder injury and will not participate in minicamp next week. It is the same shoulder he hurt last season against the Titans that kept him out for the majority of last year. The Stanley Cup Finals started last night in Edmonton as the Oilers took down the Panthers 4-3 in overtime. Game 2 is tomorrow night. Puck drop at 7 p.m. The NBA Finals start tonight. The Pacers travel to OKC to take on the Thunder. Tip-off set for 7:30. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Two with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you're on YouTube, you're probably wondering why I'm going to be fidgeting around this whole time. It's because I'm having to use a different microphone because I don't know who did it. But someone has broke my original microphone. It is destroyed. When did this happen?
I don't know. That is not good. I've never seen that before.
We got the email saying this is like the 10th microphone arm that's been broken inside this studio.
Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't my mic.
I don't know what everybody is doing to this microphone, but treat it gently.
Zach, you could try handheld. Try it.
Try handheld?
Hell yeah.
Just do this the whole time? I mean, I don't mind doing it. This red light's going to be annoying.
Red light, green light.
But, like, I don't know. I may have to switch to a different seat because this is annoying. I feel like I don't know how Buck does it. Because Buck...
What did Buck do? He used the same other mic?
He uses this mic.
The one
but
he uses every day.
Leans in like this all the time and all this stuff.
I heard him talking about yoga, so he does his yoga pose while he's doing that?
Yeah, I'm not that flexible. Oh, my gosh, this is insane. Okay. And the controls are over here and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my! This is going to tweak you. This is how you get. This is what they do to athletes right here. See, you try to tell them, "Oh, change your footwork, change it," and then they get tweaked. They get, "Oh my God!" I mean, they start having to think instead of just go.
This is a distraction, like some people think Will Levis is in the locker room.
Oh,
see how I tied that in? That's a good segue.
Hey, that's a pro's pro right there.
That is a pro segue.
Unlike Jackson.
That is a pro segue.
Ross Hardy's a pro, man. I
do not know what to do with myself right now. Okay, so anyway, speaking of distractions and dysfunction, since my microphone is not functional over here. We have a clip from Pro Football Talk on May 30th of Mike Florio talking about how the presence of Will Levis is a distraction and a sign of dysfunction. Another sign of dysfunction for the Tennessee Titans. And I just kind of disagree with all of this, because I do know that there is a path for Will Levis to be a distraction. I know there is that path where it could happen, but I don't see that as a real, I guess, probable path, I guess. But here is Mike Florio talking about Will Levis and dysfunction.
We always look for whispers and whiffs and signs of dysfunction. That keeps you in the dysfunctional category when you have 2 years with a young quarterback and it hasn't worked out and your team bottomed out and you earned the number 1 overall pick and you've drafted a quarterback. Most properly functioning teams would get rid of the guy that is being replaced because it's just a weird environment. It just adds weird and awkward into your mix. That's why, I said earlier this week, it's good for the Falcons that Kirk Cousins is staying away from OTAs. It removes the awkward quotient from Michael Penix Jr. trying to take over the team. You still got some of that. I mean, Cam Ward probably is unaffected by it, But there's going to be guys in the locker room who's like, this is weird. And you just want to minimize the reasons for anyone to say this is weird.
I get the point. I mean, I get that there could be awkwardness and all that kind of stuff, but I just have a hard time associating this with dysfunction because also someone has to want to trade for Will Levis too. We don't know what the trade calls have been like. Maybe they only want to give you a 7th round pick or a future 7th round pick. Maybe nobody's calling about Will Levis. I would find that a little bit hard to believe in the NFL. But at the end of the day, I just don't see anything that screams to me that so far he would be a distraction, even in how he's handled himself and being a pro his first 2 years.
Well, I thoroughly believe that someone from the outside of the state who's covering it nationally could say that. I get it. It is kind of awkward in certain situations, but I think there's a couple things that he didn't address. And to me, that would be, it depends on the personality of the player. First and foremost, why would he want to do anything that would jeopardize putting him in a bad light? So what I'm saying is, why would he be a bad character probably in the locker room at this point in time? Now, will it feel weird for the other guys and everybody else? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I think everybody knows when you're the first pick of the draft in this day and age that that guy's going to be the starter. Right. Whether now or later. It's going to come sooner or later. As soon as you mess up, you're going to be out there. And in this case, I think he's going to be out there from the beginning. So also from the organizational side of it, I would have played him last year, tried to increase his value. But now that they're in the situation that they're in, maybe they are, to your point, what you said is they didn't get enough value. So they said, we're going to hype this up, say positive things about him. He at least is a backup in this league at worst case scenario. Oh, and by the way, do we really like the backups we have? Let's see as we go through camp. Hopefully he plays well, and it will give us an option to decide if we can or will trade him. Both in effect to me, because let's imagine Cam Ward gets nicked up for a game or two. That's a possibility. Just something. It could be anything. Hamstring.
Talking about a guy seizing the moment, Will Levis.
Right. See, then now all of a sudden, before the trade deadline, you can still trade him or, nope, we need him. And then he increases his value. So I think, I think at this point in time, it's a smart play. Yeah. Maybe theoretically during the draft, you say, man, you want to trade him. Well, there's no trade partners. They only want to give you a 7 round. You're like, what? What did we get for Malik Willis? Right. Different crew of GMs and people, but we got to get at least that at worst case scenario. So I think they're playing it to the best. And athletes have been in these situations all the time. And I'm not even talking about just Will Levis. I'm talking about the other players. Right. And they just have to coexist with it until it changes. They know what's going on.
Well, some of these players were there for where was this distraction stuff when it was Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis, and Malik Willis?
Yeah.
So I mean, there wasn't any distraction talk at that point, and then at that point you went Malik Willis 1 year, Will Levis the next year, and you still got veteran Ryan Tannehill there. I mean, there was an opportunity there for distraction talk now, but it feels like now this is just a made up story in my head where I understand that why people say this, but if you were to pay attention to the team, I just don't think it's a real possibility at this point in time. Now, listen.
They can't go any lower, by the way.
Right. I mean,
go over.
You've talked about it. He has to, what good is it for him to be a distraction?
Right, yeah.
It serves him no benefit.
None.
And if he is a good soldier, for lack of a better term, and a good backup,
he has no choice.
Right. First off, he has no choice. But second off, it's a smart business move. And talk about a business-minded quarterback. He is a business-minded quarterback.
And how's Mayonnaise doing? Is it doing good?
I don't know.
Business doing well?
I guess. I don't know if eggs affected the price or not because,
Jackson said he's doing really well because he's had a lot of it over the last couple of days.
My cologne is still sitting on the shelf.
Are you going to ever wear it?
The Mayo cologne?
Yeah.
Should I wear the Mayo cologne one day?
If you do, make sure it's a day I'm not here because I don't want to smell it.
Do you like it? I mean, is it good?
No, I bought it because I thought it was funny.
No, but I mean, have you used it?
Oh, absolutely not. It smells like mayonnaise, Blaine.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'll
wear it one day.
Sold out.
I thought that was the selling pitch, but it's like tweaked with a different smell than mayonnaise.
It's not a horrible smell, but it smells like mayonnaise.
Blaine, people will buy anything. If you came out with just a random color shoelace and it was the Blaine Bishop shoelace, for whatever reason, it would sell out in minutes.
It can't. It has to.
They don't care. Because everybody thought that Will Levis was going to be the next big thing, and so they wanted this collector's item.
Did he mix banana peels in there or something? It's
got a little lemon hint to it.
Little lemon hint. There's nothing I like better than a little. It's basically an aioli, is what it sounds like.
Well, if you remember, just bring it in. I just want to smell it.
I'll bring it in tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah,
He'll bring it in tomorrow. Let's go to Luke, who wants to talk. Hold on. Crap, I have to go all the way over here.
He's away from the mic. We tweaked him.
Let's go to Luke. Luke, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Yeah, I'm here to drop a dime. I'm here to rat. I think the Mike arm breaker from video that I see on the stream almost every morning, I think it's Will, if that's the one he uses.
Oh, boy.
Will. Okay.
We're gonna have to do some research here.
We'll have to go back and look at the tape.
So I can confirm.
Thank you, Luke.
Will Bowling, the entire show, will do this.
Oh, well, hey, now that you're doing it, you're next. You were going to break that arm.
What was he doing with that? Why was he doing that?
He just fidgets with it all the time.
You're not
moving it back and forth.
So you're not supposed to move the mic a lot forcefully to move the arm, to move the position out. If you need to move the mic, you do this here and there. But you're not supposed to make big sweeping gestures with the mic moving it.
You're tweaking me because now I have to look around this camera to see. I got to move.
I'm trying. I'll try to figure something else out at the break.
Oh, my.
Oh, man.
This is not good. So Will Bowling is the culprit.
That's what
the rumor says here with callers as well as Jackson back that up.
We'll have to check the tape this morning.
Do some research on that.
Okay, so we got RJ and Chris on the line. We want to hear from you. What do you feel about this Will Levis distraction, dysfunction in the locker room narrative that's going out?
You distractor.
This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Ever wonder how I keep my mojo? Well, hey, it's Blaine Bishop here, and if you're looking for the best tacos in town, you gotta check out Mojo's Tacos. They've got 3 amazing locations, including my favorite spot in Nolensville. And Mojo's Tacos is where the magic happens. Whether you're craving their mouth-watering carne asada, their delicious fish tacos, or their famous street corn, they've got it all. And don't forget to try their house-made salsa. Boy, it packs a punch. And each location has a great vibe, perfect for the family night out or catching up with your friends. Plus, their friendly staff will make you feel right at home. So head on over to Mojo's and taste the difference. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Mojo's Tacos, 3 locations and 1 unforgettable experience.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We went to the tape, Blaine, during the break. We went to Ramon and Will. First segment of the third hour, normal microphone in place. Second segment of the fourth hour, the second segment of the fourth hour, this microphone is being used by Will. Wow. So
thanks to the call. Who was the call? Do we remember the name?
Luke. So Luke put us on there. Luke is a snitch. Snitches get stitches, so be careful out there, Luke.
Watch out.
Let's go to RJ, who wants to talk about Will Levis. Hold on, RJ. I'm coming to you. RJ, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
What's going on, fellas, man?
What's happening, RJ?
I've been watching the Titans for 20-plus years, man. Anybody listen to this show, go see why they call Blaine the hit man. Please, he's mild-mannered now, man.
I didn't get the mic.
So this is what I wanted to talk about, Blaine, and it's really a question for you. Coming up through your whole sports career, you had to deal with the new guy coming in, taking your job. You're the new guy coming in to take the other guy's job. By the time you reach the NFL, the most fragile-minded person is stronger than the average human. So it's like when people talk about, oh, it's going to be a distraction, he's going to be bothered by. These folks have been doing this since they was 5 and 6 years old, man. They used to competition. They thrive. They want competition. Like, to get to the NFL, Will Levis has to be one of the strongest-minded people on the planet just to get where he is, even though he was trash last year. But that's my point, Blaine. Speak on that.
Well, that is an interesting thing that you say there, because to get to the NFL, obviously there was a lot of competition. There's a lot of mind games. There's mental approaches and failures that you have throughout your career to even get to that point, and then you try to elevate it. So yeah, I've always said I don't think it was going to be an issue. I think I said that from the beginning. Not even really knowing him personally, he really just has no choice to adapt. I think behind the scenes, he's doing it the right way. I'm sure his agent's going to try to get him traded, and then the Titans going to make sure that they're trying to get the best value they can. And I think that's what really happened during the draft. There just was not any takers there, and some of that the Titans' fault, and then some of it is everybody knows they're going to take Cam Moore with the first pick. So then their leverage left them. I mean, they didn't really have any leverage, to be honest, unless you were desperate for a quarterback. I think there's still a couple teams out there. You shall see, and maybe a couple more if after training camp, or maybe somebody gets hurt that potentially. I mean, all I think about is the Jaguars, even though that's in division, because that guy coached them. He knows at least Trevor Lawrence has had a history of missing games over the last 2 or 3 years. So you say, well, at least I got a guy I do know. He knows my system, and I know his limitations. So I think a lot of coaches like that comfort feel. I know I would if I was coaching, know what I'm getting. I think that's what kind of got Callahan last year is he thought he was getting one thing, and he really didn't get a polished quarterback, and he was treating him like he was a polished quarterback. He was really getting an inexperienced quarterback whose mindset is I'll run through a brick wall and not, hey, I'll slide if I have to.
Yeah, I would say that you kind of also have hit on this during the season. You've hit on this during the offseason, even leading into Cam Ward being drafted, was that you felt that they handled the situation wrong towards the end because you should have just let him play the whole time. As soon as he was healthy, let him play.
I probably would. Remember, I kept on saying I'd benched him that last home game because I know people didn't want to see him.
Right.
But I would have I wanted to see him keep playing because I wanted him to either play himself into getting traded. It was already determined we're going to be starting. We're going to have the first or top 5 pick.
I mean, we knew pretty early on in the season.
Yeah, so I would have kept going with him and see if he could have fought out of it, because even if it wouldn't have benefited you, it could have benefited other teams seeing that he did do that, and then you would have increased his value.
Right. And they didn't do that, so now you have a totally different situation that you have to handle, and that situation is you have to navigate the draft where there's a lot of quarterbacks. It wasn't a top-heavy quarterback, but it was a quarterback with a lot of draftable quarterbacks for backups. It was a backup quarterback kind of class, so you have to contend with that. Now you got the Browns hanging out there with Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Joe Flacco. They're not keeping 4, but probably outside of maybe Dylan Gabriel, most of those guys are maybe Kenny Pickett. I think you can make an argument that maybe you'd rather have Will Levis over Kenny Pickett as a backup. I don't know. But I think that a lot of those teams will probably view one of those players as more worthwhile because they're going to get cut. One of those players, they're not keeping all 4. Now, maybe they trade one But, I mean, if they go far into camp, they're not keeping all 4 on the roster. I'd be very surprised.
Oh, I'd be surprised, too. Which one do you think is getting traded? And give me your reasoning why.
I think it's Kenny Pickett. Because I think they spent a 3rd-round pick on Dylan Gabriel. Unless Dylan Gabriel has a really disastrous offseason. And I'm not very in tune to or even intrigued to watch Browns offseason news. But, like, I would assume that they keep Dylan Gabriel 3rd-round pick. They're probably likely going to keep Shadur Sanders. I think he's going to be probably the best of the bunch. So I think it's Kenny Pickett. So I think Kenny Pickett's the odd man out.
Okay, the reason why I asked because I'm a little conflicted here of what I'm thinking, just looking from the outside in. I go, boy, they trade Kenny Pickett. You look at their schedule. It's a tough first 6 games.
Yeah.
Right after 6 games, I'm like, they're probably going to yank Flacco. Just because he's older and they're not winning and all those things. So then you say, who are they putting in?
I would think Shadur.
Well, we hear conflicting messages coming out of there is that Dylan Gabriel is playing actually pretty good. It's just it's getting overshadowed when Shadur does get some reps. Reason why I say that, they just said Shadur got no number 1 reps. Everybody else, the other quarterbacks all did. So who is really
maybe they
ahead?
Don't like him. Maybe it's a case of the staff.
I don't know. So I didn't know if if that's the case, maybe the staff is saying, well, we're going to give him some reps in the preseason so that way we at least trade him. Because if you do bench Flacco and you go with the young quarterback, you have now turned the page already to the next season.
Yeah.
And so Kenny Pickett seems like he's the guy, but you just never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
It's really that will be one of the more interesting storylines to follow in the NFL. No doubt. I will say this, you talk about Liam Cohen. You also think of the Liam Cohen stops, and of course he was at Tampa Bay. Their backup is Kyle Trask. Now he's a guy that's been their backup for a long time, but maybe there is a situation there where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers call Liam Cohen. Well, maybe they know a little bit about Liam Cohen and Will Levis. They also played against Will Levis, don't forget. Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. Maybe there is a situation, and there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, joint practices as well. Sometimes at those joint practices, players perform well enough that you see them get traded to a joint practice or preseason team, and maybe there's an opportunity there to do some wheeling and dealing for Will Levis.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Because they're also, I think, doing a joint practice with another team too, right?
Yes, and I believe they're doing it with Atlanta. Is that correct?
Yeah, Atlanta's a team.
Minnesota is another team that is on the preseason schedule, right? So their depth chart is currently goes J.J. McCarthy, and then it goes Sam Howell, and then Brett Rypien. So,
I don't know about
Rypien.
Sam Howell's pretty. I mean, Sam Howell showed.
And they traded for Sam Howell, so maybe I don't know. Maybe there's an opportunity there as well. But I would say that right now, I think there is going to be maybe opportunity out there for Will Levis to still be moved. But I do not like Brendan Allen or Tim Boyle as backup quarterbacks.
Right, no doubt. The other team, I'm still because I don't trust anything about Aaron Rodgers. Will Levis did play well against the Steelers.
He did.
By the way, he showed that he was comparable just as good as Mason Rudolph.
The rumors is that by the time training camp rolls around, Aaron Rodgers will be there at Pittsburgh. That's the rumors. Rumors floating around. So we'll see.
How do you we must get Ramon on to ask him, how do you think the players in Pittsburgh feel about that? That he's waited all this time to hold out, and then they still don't know what's going on.
When he comes back from a vacation, we should have him on to ask him that. Because right now, I would be,
that one there, man.
It's kind of like when he
missed. A team you know.
Yeah.
It's a team that doesn't know you.
Even when the Packers thing went down, and right before he missed and blame, he couldn't get on page with he had all these young wide receivers come in the year they drafted Christian Watson and all these guys. And he's like, well, we're not on the same page, and he's getting mad at them. Well, he missed the entire offseason of getting on the same page. Jackson, what you got?
I think Atlanta's super intriguing if they move Kirk Cousins, because that's a huge. They currently on their depth chart on their team website, they don't have a third quarterback.
What?
So I think with the Titans doing joint practices with the Falcons, if they were to move Kirk Cousins and say only get picks back, I think a Will Levis move to the Falcons could make sense.
Watch this. If they don't have a third quarterback, They don't even have to move Kirk Cousins. They know they're going to move him next year. That means off the roster.
Well, they got Easton Stick and Emory Jones.
Okay, I was going to say, I knew they had to have more than
two other quarterbacks on the roster.
It's not on their website.
What is right here? So those websites don't get updated. Team websites typically don't get updated for.
So tell them where you went.
I went to Our Lads.
Okay.
So I always go to the second one down.
Two quarterbacks? No way. They're going to sign Ross tomorrow.
Well, Emory Jones and Easton Stick, also, Will Levis is a massive upgrade over either of them.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm not saying that, they're nothing to, be scared of. I mean, they're practically the Tim Boyle Chargers, and Brandon Allen of the Falcons.
Oh, I think they're a little...
Tim Boyle's probably a little bit better than both those. Yeah. Easton Stick's more of like a glorified running back. Let's go to Chris, who's been waiting patiently. Chris, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Wanted to bring up a situation from the Titans past that I think kind of illustrates why this isn't a problem now. And that's when we drafted Marcus Mariota, and there was a contingent of Titans players that were on team Zach Mettenberger. Like, into training camp, they were saying, we should have just stuck with him. Even during, the draft day party, guys, as the pick was announced, were kind of showing their displeasure with it. Visibly on video and such. So I think the reason it's not a problem now is because there is nobody on this team that is on team Will Levis. Nobody's picking Levis in their mind as being better than Cam. And I think everybody's kind of ride or die with Cam. So it might be physically awkward to be around Will Levis right now. But as far as team mentality and everything, it's just not a bad situation.
Thanks, Chris. I agree.
I forgot about that, Zach. Yeah. Well, he was a later round pick.
He was like a 6th or 7th round pick. So, I mean, it's a little bit different. I mean, to me, I'm just I just don't see the problem. I really don't see a problem. Now, if it becomes a problem and Will Levis takes as the wrestling fans will know, a heel turn and turn bad guy on this entire situation, then that's different. But I just don't think that's in his DNA. Of all the things that...
And it doesn't benefit him.
It just doesn't... It's not in his DNA. It doesn't benefit him. He's kind of been in this situation over at Penn State and that as well. Yeah. And listen, he did transfer out to Kentucky and all this kind of stuff, but I think you just kind of have to play the good soldier because it only benefits you to do as such. It does not benefit anybody to be a awkward presence, a bad guy, a villain at this point in time. Because no one's going to sympathize and side with you.
Well, I hope someone listening that knows him, he needs to embrace where he's at right now. I think he's not fully embracing it, and that means he's still thinking, I got screwed. No, you should be thinking this is a great opportunity to focus on what I can control, and that means me. And that means that I go out here and execute because whether I'm with this team or with another team, I'm going to try to be the best Will Levis. And that's only going to benefit him. You must go into the tunnel of focus of I'm only trying to increase how good I can be. You can't control all that other stuff and what people say and where you may go or may you stay here and all that and who the starter. Guess what? That's already going to be decided. And he knows that already as soon as he was the number 1 pick.
Right.
So why are you going to sit here and sulk? So I want him to embrace it. Have fun with it. And then just let it fly. Guess what? If I was him, I'd be just taking all kind of risks at practice, throwing the ball. There would be no pressure. Guess what? That pressure's all on Cam Ward now. The pressure on me is to have fun. That's it.
Well, he's had his time.
Get better.
He's had his grieving period.
Right.
Right? Like, okay, to accept this new reality. And if you accept it and you put in the work and you keep your head down and don't cause any dysfunction, give advice when advice is needed. Mm-hmm. Talk about your experiences and kind of embrace that role, then there's a role for you in the NFL. Because you're talking about, think of how many career backups there are in the NFL.
Made a ton of money.
Look at Dan Orlovsky and Chase Daniel. They've turned it into a media career, and they're career backups.
Oh, my God.
So why not embrace that role? And when you get the opportunity to start, then try to change people's minds, right? Mm-hmm. Because, look at Geno Smith. He kept his head down for a long time and just became the consummate professional, and now he's got paid with Seattle. He's got now paid with Las Vegas. That to me seems like if I was a pro, or if I was Will Levis's agent, I would say, see what happened with Geno Smith? Your story's not over because they drafted a guy. Now let's maximize it.
Write your own story. Yeah. So eventually the cream will rise to the crop, and whether you were ready or not, and just make sure you're ready the next time.
Because Steve Lamb says replace that joker on the 53 with someone that can help you win. Well, why can't Will Levis help you win if he has to play a game?
Right, exactly.
Because maybe he is allowed to get better. As much as I am a Will Levis detractor on the radio, he is allowed to get better being in the same system. The first time he's under the same system in back-to-back years. Now, there's not that much difference between Scangarello's system in his second year at Kentucky and Liam Cohen's system in his first year at Kentucky, but this is the first time he's had the same offensive coordinator. He's got a better situation around him. He's allowed to get better. Will he get better than Cam? I'm not betting on it. But at the same time, again, he can still help this team. Because let me tell you something. Brennan Allen ain't helping this team. Tim Boyle ain't helping this team. And you guys know have been very down on Will Levis ever since he was a prospect. But he can help you still win games if it is needed. That's just where I'm at. Yeah, I can't believe I'm now defending Will Levis.
I know, right? That's where we're at. I mean, I feel like that's where we are, but I think, we got to look at it from a different light, and not he's the starter.
He's the backup.
Right. And most backups in the National Football, and they can have a long career, as you were talking about, is the guys who are up and down like a roller coaster. Well, he's already that.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick made the most of it. I mean, all these guys, and then led that to him getting a big contract, right? So you just never know. The guy has too much talent for you to just say, I don't know if he can really help us. Then you start saying, well, he can, but maybe in a backup role. Yeah. Is he a bad character guy in the locker room? Will he cause a ruckus? No. So then you say, well, he's the best we got. When they start evaluating, if you want to win, we all know quarterbacks get nicked up, and he may miss a game or two. Who's your best shot to win games? Your career is on the line, head coach Callahan.
Yeah.
So I like winning. So I'm picking the best.
And he is the best.
He is the best backup.
I mean, he's the best the backup. Well, let's just be clear. That does not mean he's the best quarterback in the league. Does not even mean he's the best backup in the league.
Right.
He's the best backup option on this roster.
Yeah. Now, that could change if some guys become available.
Yeah.
Then you might start thinking a little differently. Because I would prefer that I had someone like a veteran backup with him. And I'm not talking about long in the tooth. I'm talking about maybe somebody's been in the league 5, 7, and being a backup and being pretty solid. And you show glimpses like, let's say like Mills for the Texans, a guy like that. I kind of want that guy, maybe even a little older than that has shown that he can start some games, but he's not your guy.
Right.
So that I would prefer that, but sometimes you don't get what you want.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go to Gorilla, who wants to talk about Will Levis.
Gorilla,
you're on with Blaine and Zach.
What's going on, gentlemen? How we doing today, man?
Doing good. How are you?
You're good.
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. Hey, man, you stole my take too, bro.
What's that?
I watched the show. Yeah, you took my take. That's all right. I'm gonna keep giving them to you though. Yeah.
I stole it. You own it.
Yeah. When I brought up the trade, maybe there was a trade behind the scenes, and I was watching your show to let you know I follow you, guy. I'm a fan. Let you know. Cool. But I was like, hey man, just give Gorilla his props, man. Next time, just be like Gorilla said, and then take off with it.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
Gorilla said.
Yeah. Gorilla said.
Give him his props.
Yeah. Hey, but check this out, man. I'm conflicted with this thing here, right? So this is my take on it. Will Levis, I'm just not into Will Levis, guys.
Hey, listen, that's okay. I'm with you. I am with you, despite what I may say.
I'm looking at it from this standpoint as a bag up. Because remember last year, guys, he was slated to be the face of our franchise. There's something wrong with that boy's head, man. That's all I can say. And there's something wrong with it because he has all of the he has everything, man, but he just can't put it together. I was looking at the 22 the coach's film on him. Man, this guy was missing layups. I'm talking about clean layups, touchdowns, conversions. Something's just not there. And I don't think you can coach it up in him. And again, like you said, we can win with him. No, we can't. We didn't win with him. We won 3 games with him last year, man. I think we need to just pull. I don't think there's Blaine, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to say this here. What do you think he's worth to us on the market for the draft pick? What do you think a team would give us for Will Levis? And I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks. Well, that probably's up Zach's wheelhouse. But I would 5th, 6th round.
I would think you should be able to get a 5th round pick.
We got to get.
I know that doesn't sound like a much.
What would we get on Malik Willis?
A 7th.
Yeah, so we got to get a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
Just because of where he went in the draft. Yeah, so I'd say 6th round for sure. Yeah.
Okay, we got 8 free agents according to Spotrac that are quarterbacks right now that are on the open market. We're gonna go through all 8 when we come back and talk about whether or not Will Levis is a better option than them. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Guys, if something's been holding you back from performing at your best, it's time to do something about it with Performing Enhancement Treatment Packages from Edge Peptide. Whether you're in the gym or on the course with Edge Peptide and hormone therapy, you can show up stronger, feel better, recover faster, and stay in the game longer. Also can boost your energy, build some lean muscle mass and heal from those nagging injuries. So as an athlete myself, I know how those injuries can affect your game. So if you're struggling with joint pain, suffering from a recent injury, or looking to recover faster after surgery, Edge has you covered. From peptide packages like the PRP treatment, stem cells, and high-film muscle stimulation, Edge is your exclusive Nashville area peptide specialist. So don't wait till summer to feel your best, and don't trust your health to some online pharmacy. And remember, at Edge, your consultation fee for $250 is waived with your initial order. And all you have to do is just go to edgepeptide.com. Yes, that's edgepeptide.com, or you can give them a call today at 615, of course, 724-1878. That's 724-1878.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've been talking about this kind of made-up narrative in my head about Will Levis being a distraction in the locker room. Of course, ProFootballTalk.com, Mike Florio put out this big statement calling it a sign of dysfunction. We got people in the chat calling him a wild man. He's too wild to be in the locker room, and he can't win you games because there's no way he can get better on a better team in a better situation and all that kind of stuff. So we got 8 backup quarterbacks currently available, or 8 quarterbacks currently available in free agency. One of those is Aaron Rodgers, so I'm removing him off the list.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Rodgers is gone.
But Jackson's going to participate in this too.
Okay, so Jackson. Okay, let's go around the room.
He's a quarterback guru. He's our guru.
The first one on the list, according to Spotrac.com, Carson Wentz. Would you rather have Will Levis? So basically, would you rather have Will Levis or a pick and Carson Wentz? Because obviously you're trading Will Levis in this situation.
Man, most of these guys are assigned custody.
I mean, Carson Wentz is kind of.
I'm gonna go with Carson Wentz, of course, because
you're getting the pick too.
I want a veteran guy. Yeah.
Okay, what you got?
I'm going to go Will Levis. I think they're both even, but I would have to retract a lot of memes that I've sent out over the years.
Well, I mean, what about all the memes that Will Levis already has?
I mean, I don't have to retract
you were looking for one for today's show tweet, if I'm not mistaken.
I did.
So I'm just saying. So, I mean, listen, I lean with Blaine on this one. I'm going Carson Wentz because I'm also getting a pick. So if I'm getting older version of Will Levis, who may or may not, win or lose you a game, you never know. It's a toss-up with Carson Wentz, as we have seen over his career. At least I'm getting an extra pick of some sort. All right. Teddy Bridgewater is the next one. And I'll start us off on this one. I'm going I'm going Will Levis. I'm keeping Will Levis over Teddy Bridgewater. I understand Teddy Bridgewater could be something, but he missed a year. He's a little injury prone. Then he came back last year, and he missed a year not because of an injury. He missed a year because he went to coach football, and he actually won a state championship. If I'm not mistaken.
Florida. Mm-hmm.
So I think I lean Will Levis in this scenario, but I wouldn't be upset if it's Teddy Bridgewater. What about you?
This is so insulting to all the Tennessee fans.
Uh-oh.
Because he came back and took Hooker's job, so now you're saying that he's better than Hooker. Will Levis.
I mean, the NFL. Can I say something? The NFL's kind of told us he's better than Hendon Hooker.
I expect nothing less from these Zach Lyons.
I'm just saying it. Let's just say that the NFL, 32 teams have told you.
Also, I don't think there's a chance that Teddy Bridgewater wants to play for the Titans.
Yeah, maybe not.
So, who you got?
I got Will Levis because there's no chance Teddy Bridgewater wants to play for this football team.
All right, I'm going with Jackson. I'm going with Will Levis.
All right, we're all Will Levis on that one. C.J. Beathard.
You said Teddy Bridgewater. No,
I said Will Levis. Okay. C.J. Beathard, and I, again, will stick with Will Levis. Because, I mean, he's a guy he's about to be 32, been in the year for 8 years, in the league for 8 years.
How many starts does Beathard have?
He has quite a few. And listen, he hasn't been
I think that's
absolutely terrible.
No, but he's a backup, and we got to remember he's homegrown from BGA.
Okay,
so that factors in for me.
He's a starter, 3-10 as a starter. Okay. So he has about 13 games as a starter. He's got a 60.4 completion percentage, 3,886 yards. So that's a 13-game season. He has 19 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I'll be honest.
Okay, I like that.
Look at all this. I'd say that I would go C.J. Beathard over Will Levis. Give me
C.J.
Beathard.
Bring the hometown kid home. C.J. Beathard.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I got to do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we got Carson Wentz and C.J. Beathard. Teddy Bridgewater, we said no. So Will Levis on that one. Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley, as you all may have remembered, that's one of the few quarterbacks the Tennessee Titans got a victory over last year. Where are you at on Tyler Huntley?
I'm going Will Levis.
Yeah, I think I'm going Will Levis too.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
And Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle couldn't move the ball.
Didn't Huntley go to the Pro Bowl like the eighth picker?
Yeah, he's a Pro Bowler. Snoop Huntley.
He was like the 7th.
Yeah, you went in place of Lamar Jackson, who he also replaced when Lamar got hurt.
Yeah, Pro Bowler Snoop Huntley.
He was the 7th guy.
This is why because we talked about this a little bit off air. Maybe we'll talk about it in the next segment. But like making the Pro Bowl now really holds no weight for me.
Oh man,
it used to mean something.
Oh man,
now you got like Snoop Huntley making it and all this kind of stuff.
Oh my! Remember he couldn't even find a job. He signed with the Dolphins or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. He was like their third or fourth quarterback because they had to go through all these other quarterbacks.
I think he got in against the Titans. He looked horrific. He was horrible.
It's horrible.
I was like, this is not even the same guy.
Jeff Driscoll, been in the league for 9 years, probably most famously as a Detroit Lions quarterback.
That's that Florida kid, isn't it? He went to Florida. Is that the same guy?
Jeff Driscoll did play at the Florida Gators.
Yeah, he was a good player there.
He's 6'4". He's 1-10 in his starts. He's been in the league since 2018. So 2018 he played with Cincy, went 1-4. That was the year that Andy Dalton got injured before they drafted Joe Burrow.
Oh.
Then 2019 is when he went to Detroit. And then he went to Denver, Houston for 2 years, Cleveland
I'm
in
Levis. You don't have to tell me all that. Yeah, I'm going Levis.
Yeah, Levis. What about you? You Jeff Driscoll over there?
Will Levis. Ooh, we're getting to the bottom of the barrel here, bud.
It is not good. Okay, Desmond Ridder is the next one.
Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis.
Yeah, no doubt. There's people in here that were like, oh, I'd take Desmond Ridder. And listen, I was a Desmond Ridder truther, but you seen what you seen.
Yeah.
I'm good on that one. Jake Fromm. I'll never forget that I don't remember the NFL analyst that said this, and I need to find it, but like Jake Fromm had the brain, someone said he had the brains of Andrew Luck and the arm of Jared Goff or something crazy like that. And I was like, Jake Fromm?
I think I would honestly take Brandon Allen, Tim Boyle, or Will Levis over Jake Fromm.
Yeah, because that's what all you're getting over with some of these guys. That's it. That's the list. That is the list currently. Now, that list will grow when cuts happen.
Right. Well, Levis was 9 out of 10 or whatever.
Yeah,
the number was.
We only took two. We took Carson Wentz and C.J. Beathard.
Right,
that was it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, that's
tough. That's tough. And that's why I say that I'm all for trading Will Levis. I'm all for it.
What was the lowest?
I think he deserves a fresh start.
Right,
I think the lowest I'd take is a 5th. Now, if I have to give a 6 to get the 5th, like if I have to trade Will Levis in a 6 to move up into the 5th round, I'll do it.
Okay, that's about.
But
does that match up with value? Or
I think so. Okay. I mean, like, what did Joe Milton just go for?
You don't know that, Jackson. That's your
Joe
guy.
Milton.
You should know that off the top of your head. He
went in exchange for a 5th round pick, but they also had to give a 7th round pick to the Cowboys. Oh. So let's do that. I'm okay with that. Give Will Levis a 7th to get a 5th round pick. He's also a 2nd round pick for in the league, right? I mean, like the NFL, someone was going to draft him in the 2nd round. Now, I know the Titans are the ones that end up doing that, but someone would end up doing it. So I think if you ended up with a 5th round pick in C.J. Beathard or a 5th round pick in Carson Wentz, 5th round pick in mystery quarterback that's going to get cut, I think that is something you take. Now, if you're asking me, would I take a 5th round pick in Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle? Probably that'd be a tough pill to swallow because, man, if Cam Ward gets injured, it is definitely an automatic loss. Like, I'm not even trying to pretend that it could be a win.
Well, the defense just plays outstanding.
Right. Yeah. Woo. I mean, it's tough sledding out there. It's tough sledding.
I gotta see them when they get the pads on. Maybe Allen's gonna surprise us. I don't know.
Maybe. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit about the hype train that is around Cam Ward and try to really just split it into 2 sections because I think people are misconstruing what's actually going on right here. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone.
Hey, folks, I've been talking about Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance for years because they're the leading experts in sports medicine and performance and the team physicians for the NFL, college, and high school athletics across Tennessee. And TOA provides sports medicine coverage to more high school and college sports teams than any orthopedic group in the state of Tennessee. They have 29 locations throughout the state and over 100 physicians throughout Middle and East Tennessee to take care of all your musculoskeletal needs. And TOA has 11 urgent care locations with walk-in availability 7 days a week. They offer direct access to sports medicine and performance, physical therapy and nutrition, and personalized rehabilitation plans to enhance mobility, reduce pain, and improve overall physical function for patients recovering from injuries or surgeries. And TOA also offers sports performance training, a specialized program designed to enhance athletic performance and provide tailored training solutions for athletes at all levels. And all you have to do is check them out at their services at TOA.com. Yes, that's TOA.com.
2:02. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Jackson Williams. In the NFL, Colts head coach Shane Steichen said in his press conference today that quarterback Anthony Richardson will not participate in minicamp next week due to a shoulder injury, the same shoulder injury that held him out most of last season. The Stanley Cup Finals started last night in Edmonton as the Oilers took down the Panthers 4-3 in overtime. Game 2 tomorrow night, puck drop at 7 p.m. The NBA Finals start tonight as the Indiana Pacers travel to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. Tip-off set for 7:30. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number.
How's your mic doing? Is it doing okay? I'm talking about the one that's broke.
Yeah. I keep pressing this button.
It's okay. I was just making sure it had a boo-boo.
Yeah, I know.
And it was doing okay.
It's like Liam Doyle's throwing hand. It's got a little boo-boo.
Yeah. That is much more than a throwing hand injury. That would be if Liam Doyle's throwing hand fell off.
That is true. This is a bigger boo-boo than that. I keep trying to press all my buttons over on this side because I'm also right-handed. So it's an adjustment period, but I feel like I'm adjusting pretty well.
It's just like batting right-handed, then you just switch to you switch hitter, go left-handed.
Oh man, I could not imagine what I look like swinging a bat left-handed, or even golf. I bet I couldn't even golf left-handed.
I think we should all try to be ambidextrous and do throwing, golfing, whatever y'all want to try. Let's see who's the best.
It's going to be you because I know how unathletic I would be.
Right? Because you're right-handed, but you golfed left-handed? Is that correct?
I am left-handed.
Okay.
And I golf, basketball, everything right-handed. I can throw with left, though. It all started because I had an injury to my shoulder.
Yeah. Luckily, I've never had that kind of injury. So
this is how, some people then tie their kids when they're like 5 behind the back. So you're going to be left-handed because left-handed pitchers make it. They didn't have to do that to me. I would just wait till I was like 10 and my shoulder, I just threw it out.
So the Tennessee Titans finally came out with the much-awaited video of their rookie class. I can't remember who in the F&M Bank Chat, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. It was good. I liked it.
Ross posted it.
Yeah. Didn't learn much from it. Like, there's not a big sweeping takeaway or anything. But it was nice. It was nice to see. It's nice to have, kind of an inside look in a couple of people's draft processes, how they're approaching, how practice is going, their mentality. I mean, it's good. And there's more to come. So that's a good thing. It's only a 17-minute clip. There's more to come. It kind of felt like it was setting up to something bigger. But it's something that everybody's been kind of wanting is more hype and more clips and all this stuff. And we're starting to get a little bit more from the social media team around Cam Ward. The question then becomes the messaging from the team. And I think there's a fine line because I've heard a few people talk about this conversation about are they over praising, being too positive about Cam Ward. This is coming from the team, that message is not coming from the team, but is the teams and the staffs and the players' messages too much positivity surrounding Cam Ward? And I think there's a fine line between what you're getting and what you're thinking. Because a lot of people are thinking that, they're telling him his crap don't stink. Well, that's not really what's happening. What you have is the team promoting their number 1 overall pick because that's good business. What you have is a staff telling you and answering you questions honestly about Cam Ward. And I don't think that there's any difference between if Cam Ward has confidence, that's not a big issue. You want Cam Ward to have confidence. I don't get this idea that he's overconfident or they're going to make him overconfident. It's kind of like, the whole, what did we talk about yesterday? The burnout thing. I don't think burnout's an issue, and I don't think overconfidence is an issue for Cam Ward. And I think people just need to understand there's the business side of an NFL team, an NFL franchise, promoting their number one overall pick, and Cam Ward, the player. I think there's a big line between those two things.
Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to it, so I can't really say. But what I can say is this is the time to be positive. And that's not overly being positive or, oh, man, he's getting a big head or any of these things.
Right.
Because behind the scenes, they are correcting him and everybody else that needs correcting. So we must not forget that. Now, it's just like, you got two brothers. Hey, one's doing one way and one's doing another way. You're not going out here publicly saying, oh, man, well, both of them are doing horrible. You're going to say, yeah, they're doing great right now. But there's a process to this. And where we're at, he's doing a good job. I mean, that's being the honest truth. At the same time, behind the scenes, he's preparing and getting better and getting corrected critically by the coaching staff. You got to believe that. So, I mean, this is the offseason. What do you want to hear? Like, there's nothing at stake right now. I mean, there's no games.
There'll be more critical messaging from the coaching staff when there are more critical mistakes being made.
Trust me, you go watch them practice, they are correcting people on field.
Right.
I mean, so I'm sure they corrected them in the meeting room. It is. I believe that they're actually not doing enough as far as promoting. I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's in the same realm, but just kind of promoting him to me, being that he was the number one pick of the entire NFL draft. Like, I haven't seen a billboard or a poster or anything, and I'm not saying I'm looking. Maybe I'm not in the right spots, but have you guys seen anything?
I haven't seen one.
Or should we be waiting till the season starts? Because to me, this is the marketing machine. You start the positivity, and then you market. You market Titans everywhere in the whole freaking state of Tennessee.
Well, I heard a commercial today.
I haven't seen anything.
I heard a commercial today about season tickets. Come buy your season tickets for the NFL, and they're promoting every other team who they're playing. They promoted, hey, you want to come watch the Titans play the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes? What?
Because you have
the number one overall pick.
I don't know if I would go against that one because that is marketing. Because all I care about is the seats.
But I feel like that's not the right kind. To your point, that feels like a missed opportunity to promote the new look Titans, this new era of Titans.
We're a new team. We got a new quarterback. We about to change this thing. I mean, that's where I'd become more about the positive stuff. Like, oh man, they're overhyping. I see billboards. Well, I'm not even seeing anything. So I feel like I'm on the other end of that as far as the promoting and positivity on that end. I just feel like there should be more.
Yeah.
I feel like Cam is such a marketable player without even being the number one overall pick. And then you add that, I feel like it's something you just need to take advantage of the second you have him land in Nashville.
I don't think anything, and also I don't think any of the words that are being said in the press conference or anything are going to affect Cam Ward.
No.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Cam Ward is who he is. And I don't care that he's never thrown an NFL pass yet. You have to be confident in yourself to get to this point. You trying to tell me that Matt Stafford and Joe Burrow and all these other guys didn't have confidence as a rookie at camp that they were going to be something bigger than what they are right now, even before they threw their first NFL regular season pass? No. That's how you become an athlete at the highest levels, that you have confidence. That's how you become a number one overall pick, because you have confidence. Like this, the quarterbacks you don't want are the quarterbacks without confidence. Well, we'll see. We'll see when I get to the regular season how it all shapes up. No, you can have a quiet confidence. You can have a humble confidence, but you have to have confidence as an athlete. This idea that you can't have positivity right now because the positivity backfired last year, I get it. The positivity about the Tennessee Titans in the offseason backfired heavily. But that's not because of the messaging.
Right.
That's because of the player.
Nothing to do, right.
Your team was bad.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between, like, I guess to me, it's that I feel like we do a good job on this show of being positive, but also, putting next to that with the caveat of, we'll see how it turns out. That doesn't mean that it leads to success, but the things that we have seen or the things we have heard are extremely trending in the right direction. But we'll see what happens in the regular season. And I think that that's what the messaging from the media needs to be, not that only glowing positive remarks or only negative remarks to balance out the positivity. Is that, hey, all this stuff is good information to have. All this stuff is good, I guess, a good premonition to what could be. But we have to play the game. Playing the game in shorts and shirts is a lot different than playing the game on Sundays.
Yeah, man. Jackson could have gave me, the 1-2 punch, man, and I would have missed him. In his shorts, man, What they call you yesterday?
White chocolate.
Yeah,
yep.
white chocolate. Yeah, so, yeah. Maybe, watch this. Maybe they're just scared to mark because they know they have the Broncos first.
Maybe.
Maybe they're scared.
Maybe they're like, man, if we market all this stuff and then this guy goes and lays a goose egg, we know that that's not the end of his career, but fans are just going to start going crazy. I don't know. What you got, Ross? Let Ross have the mic. Uh-oh.
Marketing.
Tweet from Tom Pelissero. 4-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers informed the Steelers he'll fly to Pittsburgh on Friday and sign before next week's minicamp.
Look at that. What'd I say?
Doom.
So he's going to be there. That would say that he's going to be there for minicamp, huh? Is that right? So, okay, there you go. Mandatory minicamp. He's actually going to show up a little bit early. So good job on that, Ross. I did not get that notification.
Way to take the tuliges from,
Wait a minute, are you sure
Jackson?
you're not getting had? I didn't get a Tom Pelissero notification.
Did it? You sure you didn't get ding-donged?
Okay, we got it. I double-checked you. We're good.
Okay. See, Jackson was supposed to do that first.
You didn't read the first part of the tweet, though. Renegade A-Rod is what he called him, Tom Pelissero. Renegade A-Rod, 4-time NFL MVP, that everything there. So there you go.
Renegade.
Aaron Rodgers, 41, will play his 21st season in black and gold.
Wow.
There you go. I told you it was on the horizon. I felt it. I felt it.
I don't know. I wouldn't trust that cat.
See, iPhones, Zach, get the notifications right on time. Androids, on the other hand, I'm not sure.
I got Mike Garafolo. I may not have Tom Pelissero as my notifications here. So I don't know. But there we go. There you go, Aaron Rodgers. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion on the Tennessee Titans. I also want to talk about the wide receivers and why the Tennessee Titans should be calling about a certain disgruntled wide receiver in the NFL. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
There are a lot of diagnoses out there, and there's a pill for everything. But not all diagnoses are accurate, and not all pills are good for you. Hey, it's Blaine Bishop, and when you get a diagnosis for European auto repair, get a second opinion before you make a major decision. And Eurofix is the home for second opinions. So before you spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on European vehicle repair from a diagnosis, go to Eurofix. It could not only save your vehicle's life, but could actually save you from a lot of stress that would ruin your weekend. And life's too short to get stressed out and angry. So be happy and go to Eurofix. And at Eurofix, you get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection with an estimate at every visit and not high-pressure sales tactics. And you also get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. In Eurofix, you will never pay dealer pricing. Family owned for 26 years. Located all over the state of Tennessee in Franklin, Hunted Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But I always tell them, Blaine, shit, ya. Yeah.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door, 615-737-1045. Right before we went to break, Aaron Rodgers signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll have their first game MetLife Stadium against the New York Jets. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets here, and
that's exciting.
$20 million to Aaron Rodgers. We don't know anything about incentives, but at least there will be $20 million. We do know that the Steelers play the Packers as well this season.
Oh.
So do you think the schedule makers, here's my conspiracy theory.
Knew.
Sunday Night Football, Week 8, Steelers-Packers.
They knew that the Steelers were going to sign Aaron Rodgers the whole time, and that's why they put the Jets there.
Yeah.
Week 1. That's going to be a fun game to watch because you know what that means. Also, Justin Fields faces his former team.
Yes.
So you got Aaron Rodgers versus Justin Fields facing their former teams. They swapped. It's awesome.
Man, oh, man. I know I'm going to tune in, so I can't imagine what the
It's going to be fun.
Is that a Monday night or what is that?
Sunday Night Football.
Oh, my.
What if Aaron Rodgers hadn't signed with the Steelers? And then you have that as your Sunday Night Football match. Justin Fields versus Mason Rudolph.
Flex.
Yeah, flex it. Can you even flex the first game of the year?
I don't know. They might have told him to sign Tom Brady out of retirement.
They would have put that game in Australia.
Wait a minute. I think the zebra has been caught.
What happened?
The
zebra from
the
the
zebra,
zoo?
Ed the zebra. Somebody has that zebra in Murfreesboro trapped on a farm. Maybe this is just a joke. So can you effort a Ed the zebra update here?
So first of all, since you interrupted the whole sports talk, so there's a zebra loose?
You don't know about the zebra? This zebra's been loose for like 4 or 5 days.
I thought my wife was joking about the zebra when she said this, and I was like, really? And I just went on her and she said, yeah, it's a zebra zoo somewhere. I don't know. And then, then they talked about a bear got hit in somewhere.
Bear got hit.
Yeah, and they, so that's what I was like.
A bear?
Yeah, a bear was loose too. See,
Yeah.
A bear was
knew
loose?
about a zebra, but a bear who can eat you, you didn't know about.
A zebra could kick your head clean off.
Well, you can survive.
I don't know. I would much rather deal with a zebra.
He'll survive. He'll survive it.
But somebody eating you, I don't know, but you can't survive that. There's no going back, man. A bear, man. I'm sorry. I do not mess around with creatures that I roam with all the time. No.
All right. Terry McLaurin.
He's a zebra?
Yeah, he's a zebra.
What
He's
a
a unicorn.
transition.
You did not segue out of that
I
one.
didn't know. I didn't have a good one. I guess I could have gone, speaking of things that scare you, Scary Terry.
Nice.
There you go. Scary Terry has not shown up. He went to voluntary OTAs and left voluntary OTAs because contract negotiations are not progressing like he wants.
He came and left?
And he came and left.
Oh.
So that's not a good sign. Like sometimes, like Trey Hendrickson last year, he stayed for OTAs and all that kind of stuff because he was under the impression that he was going to get a deal done. Ends up he didn't. So maybe Terry McLaurin has learned something from that. But Jordan Schultz says that all-pro, he's second-team all-pro. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin has made it clear to the team that he's frustrated with the lack of progress on a long-term deal. As I previously reported, McLaurin unexpectedly left voluntary workouts after initially attending, and it remains to be seen whether he'll report for mandatory minicamp. McLaurin is entering the final year of his contracts. Talks have been minimal.
What does he make his last year? Do we know?
It's $20-something million.
What?
But it was part of the extension, so it's a backloaded contract. That's his cap hit.
Well, he's going to get that number, though. Or what?
Well, that's his cap hit.
Okay.
So let me pull it up
probably
real quick.
be half of that as far as cash.
Yeah, so his cash that he is getting is $19,650,000.
Oh, 19's still up there.
He was the first one out of this whole group. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was him or DK Metcalf. Before Debo and A.J. Brown got their extensions. He got his. He kind of set that tone. And now he's coming off a career year. And keep in mind, outside of his rookie year where he almost got 1,000, he's at 1,000 yards with the worst roster of quarterbacks that you have ever seen. What you got, Jackson?
So Terry McLaurin signed his deal in June of 2022. That would have been actually after
that
AJ
was after
Brown.
everybody. Wow, that is true. That is after. I thought he was one of the first ones.
Man,
you on it.
You on top of it today.
You on it.
Sometimes I use my brain for thinking.
There you go.
Man, that's a good one.
So I look at it and I go, if you have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, why are you making this so difficult? When you're talking about, and I do think he is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. He is a bona fide wide receiver one. Because he has played with some of the crappiest quarterbacks I've ever seen and still is getting 1,000 yards, still is getting touchdowns. And I look at it and I go, this is a situation with the Tennessee Titans where I definitely would be heavily interested in trading for Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of interesting. First of all, I don't like the look. McLaurin naturally being a cathedral graduate just like myself, I do not like the look of going and then leaving.
Yeah.
Either you go and know that things could go awry and not go your way and stay it out, and then, you got to live with it. Or don't go at all. One or two. You can't leave and go. I don't just like that whole dynamic of that. I'd love to know what the 10th rated wide receiver is making, since he feels like he should be getting some form of a pay bump. To see 19 million's up there. But when you think about the top receivers, I think Wes Jefferson making 35, 38 or so, somewhere up there.
He's got the list, I think.
So yeah, you can't be half of that, and he's not there at that. So he's got to be up above 25, 30. I mean, man, where's he be?
Terry McLaurin currently is the 16th highest paid wide receiver. The 10th is Jalen Waddle. The difference is only about $5 million per year. Jalen Waddle makes about $28,250,000 per year, according to Over the Cap, and Terry McLaurin makes $23,200,000. $23,200,000.
And that's per year, so that means that obviously he's in the last year of his contract. I'll try to see if I can pull up what he's
the
getting.
Total value of those contracts.
Total value.
Where do you think he should lie?
I think he should be above Brandon Ayuk. Who makes $30 million.
Yeah, so that would make him, that would put him at number 6 in the NFL right now. Because then eventually he's going to get pushed down. Mm-hmm. And so you would have, so this is your top 10 in overall value on the contract, Blaine. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, A.J. Brown, Calvin Ridley.
Okay. Of those guys, is he better than any of those guys?
I think he's better than T. Higgins, and I think he's better than DK Metcalf, and I would probably take him over Calvin Ridley, who's number 10. So 3 of those guys.
Man, I don't know. When you guys, you see anybody on the list that he's better than? He said 3 guys. You said DK Metcalf?
I see a player on his team
better than
he's
DK
better
Metcalf.
And when you're looking at total value, he's better than Deebo Samuel, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's better than Deebo Samuel, but where's Deebo ranked?
Deebo in total annual value is, I have to do counting, hold up.
But either way, I mean, like, I look at it, I think he's better than DK Metcalf.
Okay, so here's what you're saying. You said even Calvin Ridley, which is hard to disagree with that. So would you trade for McLaurin and swap him in
you talk about put Calvin Ridley in the deal? No, no, I wouldn't do that. Because
you just said he's better than him.
He is better, but here's the reason.
But you need 2 receivers.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do it. Because where I'm at, Blaine, is like, he's heading into year 7. When Tyreek Hill got traded, he was also heading into year 7. Mm-hmm. And what they did around Tua Tagovailoa was get Jalen Waddle, and give him as many weapons as possible while he's under a rookie contract. Now, obviously, situations have changed, but I'm looking at Cam Ward, and I'm thinking, man, if you had Calvin Ridley and you got Terry McLaurin, and you let the rest of them all sort themselves out behind that, that's an instant improvement for your rookie quarterback. And you're on a rookie, you got him on a rookie contract, so you can afford to pay him.
Okay, right.
Because Calvin Ridley only has 2 years, including this one, 2 years left.
Now, what would you pay him, though? What range? Where are we at? 25, 30? I mean, where are we at?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Calvin Ridley comes in a total value at, he got paid it's a 4-year contract. I thought it was a 3-year contract. 4 years, $92,000, right? in overall value. So $92,000.
$92,000.
I would pay him a 3-year 100, 3-year 96. Something like that, because
that was $92 million, right?
AJ Brown just got 3 years, $96,000 or $96 million. Sorry, $96 million. 3-year, $96 million. AJ Brown just got that. I'd pay him that. I wouldn't have any issue with paying that.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a little steep. I don't know.
And listen, Calvin and McLaurin, they can do all kinds of different things. They can be moved around the formation. But here's my thing: is that McLaurin is younger than Calvin Ridley. So when Calvin Ridley, maybe you get to a point where you're like, you got to think about life beyond Calvin Ridley. So now you got Terry McLaurin coming in to fill that role, and then you hope that
draft or those guys come up.
Io Manor, they come up in the draft, and now you just are building a constant rotation of wide receivers.
You were thinking like the Eagles, and I'm gonna think like the Titans. They would never do that.
Yeah. I agree. They probably never would.
Just like when they got A.J. Brown, then they already had Smith. They were like, oh, no, now we got a dynamo.
Yeah.
Then they paid both of them and gave them extensions. Like, that's just not.
Would you trade Jeffrey Simmons to get Terry McLaurin?
Oh, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Because I have Sweat. And the reason why I say Sweat, I'm not saying he's better than him. I have someone of his equal. He's more of a run-dominant stopper.
Yeah. Well, look at this. Then you would have, look at the top trio for the Tennessee Titans. It would be Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett. That's pretty dang good for a first-year quarterback. And then you got Van Jefferson. You could do whatever you want to with them. But you got Chimere DK and Io Manor coming up. That, to me, provides you just so much on offense that you haven't had in a long time. Maybe since the A.J. Brown, Corey Davis kind of year.
Almost 2,000 apiece, yeah.
Yeah, and so to me, I'm thinking you're getting a wide receiver that you know is at least going to hit, that you're getting a 1,000-yard wide receiver for sure. Calvin Ridley, he's a 1,000-yard wide receiver. That's the best thing you can hope for your young quarterback, especially when you don't have a ideal tight end situation. You don't really know what Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears in that backfield is actually going to be able to do. You don't know about the defense. You can actually probably open things up for even other players or either other parts of your game. I'm not saying that they have to, but I would think they would surely, probably, if I were in that GM office and I saw this report, I'm picking the phone and calling. What's it going to take?
There's no way they could trade him, though.
Because DK Metcalf, they traded Metcalf in a 6 for a 2nd-round pick and a 7th-round pick.
Oh,
I would do that. I would trade, or if they would send back a 6, I would trade a 2nd or 7th, a 2nd and a 7th for McLaurin and a 6.
What did they give Metcalf as far as contract?
They paid him a lot of money. They paid him a 4-year, $132 million contract. That was insane. But that's probably what he's, that's a crazy amount of money in my head. Because I think McLaurin's better, but that's like, so they overpaid
I don't think the perception is that McLaurin is better than DK Metcalf. It may be on pay, he is, but I just think the perception, I think DK Metcalf is a better player. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know why that is. That's why I was asking you. I didn't want to be biased, you guys, because I want to like McLaurin because I like receivers that can do multiple things. I just think DK Metcalf is an outside guy, and that's all he's going to be. And he's kind of inconsistent in his route running. He's just a big old guy who's a brute. He's like LeBron James. That's why he's just jumping over people. I mean, when you 6'4" like that and built like that, man, come on, man. It's you're supposed to be good.
To me, I feel like Terry McLaurin is a little bit more consistent throughout his career, despite having the worst quarterback situation out of the two of them.
Now, who's the more talented?
More talent. You would say DK Metcalf, but probably the better wide receiver. I'm going Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
What you got, Jackson? Did you have something?
So my only caveat to this is you talked about pushing, the timeline of, thinking about life beyond Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
They're less than a year apart in age, Terry McLaurin and Calvin Ridley. So how much are you really pushing that timeline back?
Yeah, you said Ridley was 31, and I thought
he's going to be 31 in December. Terry will be 30 by the time the season starts.
What? Is he? I thought he was in his late 20s, 28.
I thought he was still 28 or 29.
He is 29. He will be 30 on September 15th.
Okay, no.
Are you looking at the wrong website again?
Let me check this.
Ross,
are you sure?
The elder.
How old was he when he got drafted?
Well, he might have been 20. I think he was only there 4 years maybe at Ohio State.
No, he's right. He was old when he got drafted. That's kind of crazy.
He got
he's correct. Jackson is correct. He is currently 29, and by the time September 15th rolls around, he will be 30. But McLaurin does not seem as old.
I don't feel like he's been in the league that long.
Yeah,
wow,
but he has.
Well, he gonna get to 32 real quick here.
Yeah. To me, I just look at it and I go, I would just build around my quarterback. I want to take the chance. And McLaurin, to me, is a better wide receiver than Calvin Ridley. I get that people think, well, he's a Z or whatever. McLaurin has played all the positions. Mm-hmm. He's not just a Z. I mean, Calvin Ridley is a better Z than he is an X. McLaurin's just a dang good wide receiver. Like, this idea that he's not a dang good wide receiver is insane. And I think he's better than Ridley. But there's even if he was the same as Ridley, what's wrong with having two Ridleys? Like, why do we care?
But I don't think it's I think like that. That's what I'm getting at.
I agree with you. There's a difference between how I think and how the Tennessee Titans think.
I would lean into like what you're saying, especially in this modern era of the NFL.
Right.
You got to put up points and you got to have playmakers. And, man, if you don't have playmakers, and their belief maybe is that they have a couple guys they drafted in the middle rounds that they think can eventually get there.
Right. But that changes the whole dynamic of your team.
Mm-hmm.
You go from a rebuilding team that may be 2 to 3 years before they're competing to a rebuilding on-the-fly team. You get what I'm saying? You're still a rebuilding team because you still have holes on defense. You still have youth you can bring up. This doesn't stop or hinder your rebuild. I'm just saying I would do it. I mean, depending on price and everything. But
I don't think the Commanders are going to do it. I mean, the fans
they
love
would be
him.
stupid to do it.
But the fans, it'll be some backlash there. They would lose that battle. The fans, they love Scary Terry.
Yeah, they would be stupid to do it. I had a question from Vandy Chris in the F&M Bank Challenge Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live, and we'll get to Steve on the phones as well. But he says, Zach, why can't you have the discussion of what the Nashville media will do if Will Levis actually beats out Cam Ward for quarterback one? And I say because it's not happening. All right, let's go to Steve. Steve, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, thank you, Jackson. Good point. That's what I was going to tell you is there's only a year difference between them. I am so glad you're not our GM.
Why don't you want Terry McLaurin? Why don't you want a good wide receiver?
Listen, I didn't say I didn't want him, but I don't want the guy that's 29 years old. And here's the.
So then you don't want him.
That's okay. There you go. But here's the other factor in that. Okay, he signed his contract like 3 or 4 years ago. What you're talking about is, who's better than who? Who's better than who? Make them sign year-to-year deals. And you can ask Blaine. Those guys don't want to sign year-to-year deals.
No.
Okay? That's the whole point. Now, I'm going to say one thing I've agreed with you on. I am the same guy who keeps calling. Jeffrey Simmons, who Mr. 12-man, I play 12-man out of a 17-game season, I'd trade him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Hey,
Think about that.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. We've talked about it. And listen, but I have to ask you, Steve, so why don't you want Terry McLaurin? You don't want another good wide receiver like him? Did we lose Steve? Did you turn Steve down? Okay. Sorry, Steve. They turned you down for some reason.
All right. See ya.
No. Answer the question.
Oh, go ahead. So here's the thing. I literally would take him, but the problem is you're going to pay him boatloads of money. He's going to give you, 2 good years?
Mm-hmm. He'll give you more than that, I think. But, I get your hesitation. At least I understand that part of it.
And here's the last caveat to it. You're also working off a quarterback that you have no idea what he's going to give you right now. I'd like to think you do, and we all are hoping they made the right move. Hopefully, but honestly, we don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is a belief thing, right? Like I'm saying at this point, you want to. Thanks for the call, Steve.
You don't want him to have any excuses either,
right? You don't want him to have any excuses. Like you're going to find out more about Cam Ward if he's throwing to Terry McLaurin over throwing to Van Jefferson.
Yeah,
I mean that's a better situation. I mean, I just want to me. I just want a better situation. And listen, the price has to be right. I'm not going to go and pay him, all this kind of crazy money. But if you can get him for a inside the bottom part of a top 10 deal, that's good business for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. But the Titans aren't,
they're not going to be.
No, I'm talking about they don't want to give up collateral.
Yeah, I know. All right, there are some sports stories I have to get to, and I have to talk to Blaine about. Not Aaron Rodgers. We talked about Terry McLaurin, but I have to talk about what the WNBA is going through right now. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
King and Associates Insurance in Brentwood stands out as an independent agent offering more than just a range of insurance options. They handpick the best companies, build strong relationships with industry leaders, and create customized bundling plans. And life throws you curveballs, and they get it. My friend and coworker switched from another independent agent and got superior coverage for their home, the contents, their cars, experienced clear communication, and had a true ally after their 16-year-old daughter had an accident, saving them thousands compared to their old, overpriced agent. You could save even more by switching as well. But don't do it just because I did or he did. Do it because it makes sense to your family, your business, or your personal needs. And all you have to do is just call King and Associates at 615-321-8121. That's 321-8121, or you can check them out online at T King Insurance to keep more money in your pocket. Go to tkinginsurance.com.
We're back, baby. We got the microphone fixed during the commercial break.
Ooh, you are
Applaud to IT right there, coming in clutch, even though this is the last segment. But hey, listen.
They got it done.
Play through adversity. Play like a champion, right?
That's what you did, yeah.
There you go.
You adapted. You
pivoted, and now we're back to normal, and it feels so much better.
Now Jackson's up there moving our pictures around and stuff online.
Oh, man. Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you were shifted over here, and now you're over there.
He had to move you.
Okay, so this morning, a report came across my timeline on Twitter.
About Jackson?
Not about Jackson. And no, it's not about the Hooters that have closed, all 3 Hooters that closed. We got the one in Memphis.
Jackson was thoroughly disappointed about that.
Murfreesboro on Broad closed down. Then the one on Largo in Nashville is closed down as well.
I hear you're a regular.
Goodlettsville remains strong.
Hey, Hermitage as well.
You are a regular.
Yeah. Listen. The Buffalo Shrimp's really good. Curly fries are awesome. But
great wings.
Stop that.
Listen,
that's why you go to Hooters.
Listen, that's why I go to Hooters. 3
Hey,
Mile
Zach,
Island.
you ever had the fried pickles?
I have not had the fried pickles, but I'm not a big fried pickles guy.
Oh, I love the shrimp there, though.
All right. Here is the report, though. Not about that. But breaking. This is from Yahoo Sports. Breaking. There is currently an investigation being launched into the Seattle Storm coaching staff by the WNBA and league security per Christina Williams. The league is reviewing a complaint from a former Seattle Storm player who alleges an assistant coach directed profanity at them. Now, since then, because I wanted to see if there's been more information as released, because this was 22 hours ago. 19 hours ago, the New York Post wrote an article about this, Blaine. And it says a report that the WNBA has launched an investigation into the Storm coaching staff is inaccurate. A source with direct knowledge of the situation told the Post on Wednesday. The source explained that a complaint was filed to the league after a Storm assistant cursed at a Las Vegas Aces player in the post-game handshake line following Las Vegas's 75-70 win in Seattle on Sunday. The league reviewed the allegation, but nothing more seemingly came of it. To call the exploration to the query an investigation is an overstatement, according to the source. So that was really kind of a letdown, because I was going to sit here and I was going to talk about how
that was a nothing
let's
burger.
grow up about a cuss word. But apparently it ended up being a nothing burger. It did happen, apparently, but nothing is ever going to come of it because it was just, I guess, to another team's player.
Assistant coach should not be, doing that in a handshake line or something like that is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's what they said, the post-victory. And the post-victory handshake line.
Yeah, that could cause a little bit of ruckus.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I felt like that, I just ran to the locker room.
I know that they teach that in Little League baseball and everything and all that
NFL,
sports.
I'm talking about NFL.
Yeah, do they do that? Is there a post-game hand? It's kind of a mess down there, right?
You just go out there and talk to different guys you know or played against.
Did you do the jersey swap thing? Was that a thing for you guys?
No, I wasn't nobody getting my jersey. No, just kidding. No. Yeah, I did it a few times, but all I can think about is when I ran into the locker. I was so pissed when we lost to the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's all that comes to my mind.
Oh, just real quick, I kind of forgot. Hey, your Pacers played tonight.
Oh, yeah, the Pacers.
Game 1, Pacers versus Knicks.
It's a must-win for the Pacers.
I'm
sorry. It's a must-win. It's a must-win. I'm serious. If they don't win this, do you know the record? Like how much they were blowing? OKC was blowing people out like 20 or more. Like it can at least stretch it out longer.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Man, dang
if it's at least a close game, like we're talking within 5 points. Maybe 10 points.
Okay, I'm with that.
Okay. And it's still a loss. You're feeling pretty good about the Pacers, though.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm. No. I think that's the athlete in me. A loss is a loss. 1 point, 100 points. But Vegas has OKC by 9, by the way. So
they're also I think, picked to win the series. Overwhelmingly 8-1 odds that the Thunder are going to win. So overwhelming favorites.
So I said before, I thought, I'm hoping OKC probably in 6, but I just wanted to stretch it out because the more it stretches out, the more to me that favors the Pacers at least having a shot.
I think I did say Pacers versus Knicks, by the way. It's Pacers versus Thunder. Sorry.
Yeah.
I still got Knicks on the brain, I guess.
Yeah, man. That's why I say you laugh at me. This is a must win for the Pacers.
Yeah.
They're not going to win game 2. It's not happening. They gotta win this one, or they gotta put on a great showing. And to what you're saying is, if it's close, like and they're hanging around and it's only like a 5-point, I think it's gonna open up some eyes. But it may wake up OKC. I just think OKC is just a better version of what they are.
Win tonight, win your home games.
Better defense.
That's the Pacers' key to their series. That series.
Win tonight, win the home games. There you go. A little NBA analysis there. Just real quick. Nick Shook of NFL.com wrote an article about make or break players that are entering make or break years, and he put in Treylon Burks for the Tennessee Titans in a make or break year, and I find that funny. First off, but second off, I think it's even funnier that the Titans Wire, which is one of those kind of aggregator accounts that they all write articles for USA Today, team specific and stuff, but they write about what other people say traditionally. And it says, the title of this tweet says, one NFL analyst isn't expecting a breakout campaign from Tennessee Titans wide receiver Treylon Burks. Here's the thing. It's only news if there's an analyst out there that thinks that Treylon Burks is going to have a breakout season. That's the news, because I bet you can't find an NFL analyst that thinks that Treylon Burks is going to have a breakout year.
Well, maybe that's another guy that they're hoping they can get some value out of. I don't know. But as far as him with this team, unfortunately, great dude, but it didn't work out for him.
We
Injuries
know at this point.
And when he wasn't, the production was not enough to say that it's promising.
Right. I mean, that's where I'm at. Like,
that.
This is more of an indictment on the aggregator accounts out there that, like, we didn't need an article for this. You guys wasted your time.
Well, they want positive news about maybe a potential former first-rounder rejuvenated and revived after injury, and he's going to come back with a bang.
Right. I'm excited for tonight's game. I think it's going to be really good. We got the course football and other efforts tonight. We'll be live at 6 p.m. right after 3HL.
And then us again at 10.
Yeah. What? At 10?
Yeah, at 10 p.m. we replay the show.
10, and then the whole night of me. And Jackson is getting his Switch 2 today, Blaine. His Nintendo Switch 2.
What happened? Maybe.
I thought you were going to get it. Oh, you're afraid of traffic, aren't you? Oh, man. They're going to sell that right out from underneath you.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. I thought he was going to get a Switch 2 today. So he's been talking about it for like months. That's been so annoying. All right. For white chocolate. This has been Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. And in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.